Today we're going to learn how to do a spring replacement on a Singer 114 W103 style chain stitch embroidery machine. The feed return springs and take up spring for the tension assembly will also work for a Cornelli. So this guy's really easy. You just flip the machine back, remove the screw that holds the take-up spring in place, and then you can sort of jiggle the coil of the spring around and it removes to the left. To get it back in, you can feed the loop that is held in place by the screw through, and then just go ahead and replace the screw in the tension assembly bracket. Just get the finger tight and then tighten it up all the way with a flathead screwdriver. So above is what a busted spring looks like. There we go. Brand new fresh spring. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Next we're going to replace the compression springs. The one on the left hand side towards the back of the machine controls the pressure on the presser foot. This machine also has little locking washers on the dish caps, so you're going to want to remove those. Spring just slides right out. Again, I actually just have new springs in the machine. This is a spring that was removed from another vintage machine, a Singer. You can see all those flat spots as I spin the spring around are from where it was rubbing on the inside of the plunger. Let's go ahead and screw that dish cap back on, and now we will replace the spring on the nipple pressure. These springs slide out and off of the plunger really easily. Some of the Singer springs will actually bite on a little groove that's towards the bottom of the plunger, and you have to yank them out pretty hard, which can cause the spring to expand. Like the bottom one here, again, the spring on the right, that was definitely too large of a spring that came out of another vintage machine. Here's an example of this little lip that the spring can get caught on. So we'll just put the new spring right on the plunger and drop it down into the tube, and then replace the plunger cap adjustment screw and tighten it down. Next we've got the feed return springs. So there is a pair of these. They're directional. They go on either sides of the nose rocker, and these are what return the presser foot to its resting position as the machine feeds material through the arm bed. So replacing these is the most tricky of these springs. First you will loosen the screw that holds the spring in place, and then I use the blade of the screwdriver or my fingers to just wiggle it out. Sometimes there can be a little bit more pressure on these depending on the stroke of the machine, so you might have to rotate the hand wheel to get the feed components down to their lowest part, which puts the least amount of pressure on the springs. So here, without the springs installed, you can see that the presser foot doesn't really return automatically. So to reinstall the spring, I put the long finger, the vertical part, down through the collar, and then I insert the horizontal finger into the hole in the nose bracket, and then using the screw I will force the spring back and get the screw into place and then tighten it that way. And just get that good and tight. Now again, on the other side, we already have this screw removed. So I'm going to put the long end of the screw, the vertical end, into the circular collar, and then put the short horizontal finger into the hole in the nose bracket. Use my left thumb to force the coil of the spring into place and line it up with the screw that goes into the tapped hole in the nose bracket, and then we just give it a tighten. And now we've got a nice new fresh set of return springs. Pretty cool stuff. And yeah, so here's a little video of the machine running. Those of you who are interested in learning a little bit more of an advanced technique to repair or tune up your machine, you can head over to my Patreon channel, where we are going to learn how to adjust the nose or feed rocker of the machine. This is a macro adjustment for your stitch length, other than just using the stitch length screw. This is a great tutorial for anyone who is just looking to get to know their machine a little bit better. So head on over to the Patreon and get some learning on. Thanks.